He flips. I'm Curtis R. Monday.
Good morning. I'm EJ Williams.
Call us right now in the studio at 312-374-8130. That's 312-374-8130. EJ, what can people reach you?
They can reach me by phone 773-340-9101. You can shoot me an email, ej@buildingherlegacy.com.
For all your insurance needs, contact the Curtis R. Monday Insurance Agency at 708-647-1005. That's 708-647-1005 to set up your one-on-one business or real estate strategy coaching session. Visit my website, www.curtisrmonday.com. That's www.curtisrmonday.com. We have a phenomenal show lined up for you today.
Yes.
Got real estate expert and author of the book.
Best-selling author. Don't miss that part now.
Right. The best-selling author of the book, The Modern Real Estate Professional's Guide to Success, Miss Marky Lemon Ryle.
He got it right.
Oh yeah, he did get it right.
I've been calling Marky Lemon for decades, a little over a decade now. So I'll just, I know. So just to keep it locked here. The show is called He Flips. We got three primary goals. One, to create an inspirational blueprint for those interested in real estate investing. Two, to create generational wealth within our communities. And three, to be a source of education, provide resources. We want to teach you how to fish. EJ, how was the week?
I had a busy week. I looked up and it was Friday. We had a couple of closings. I'm about a week away from 2 rehabs hitting the market. So, the fast and furious and crazy of getting those contractors lined up and staying on the job.
That's a whole show in and of itself.
Man, listen.
Man.
And then another multifamily we have over in Inglewood. We finished up demo for that. So we're going to get started with some of the components next week. So
Absolutely.
Busy.
We're in the middle of a rehab project. We just got the roof on. The weather cooperated. So we got the roof on. So now we're almost through with the external. So now we're going in the inside. Miss Marky.
What's going on?
How are you?
I'm wonderful. It's been a great week in real estate. Had the opportunity to interview Lovey on Tuesday for Titans of the Industry. The Chicago Association of Realtors received a grant from the Women's Council, and we put on the first event of its kind. And so it was phenomenal.
Sure. You guys are in for a treat. Alan Green, I see you live on Facebook Live, and Derek Patterson, thank you for following on Facebook Live. You're in for a treat in this section, in this particular show. So let's get right into the proceedings. Let's talk 3 traits that's vital for individuals succeeding as an entrepreneur. Everyone talks about entrepreneurship, ladies, and entrepreneurs is great. I don't want to, CC poo-poo anyone who's not an entrepreneur. But the truth of the matter is everyone's not cut out to be an entrepreneur. It takes a special kind of individual to be an entrepreneur and not just to do it, but to be successful at it. Let's talk about these 3 traits, and I want to get your feedback on it. First trait, you got to have an insatiable thirst for knowledge to be an entrepreneur. What you think about that, EJ?
I mean, that's so true. You have to have a genuine desire to learn more, to create more. And, I mean, that's the basis of it. You can't get into any industry without knowing something.
Right.
You have to have a foundational knowledge about it. But it's not just stopping there. It's continually improving yourself. Because as an entrepreneur, you don't have a boss.
Right.
So if you want the personal development, you have to seek it yourself. You have to seek out mentors. You have to go to seminars. You have to read books. And you can't stay stagnant. Otherwise, you'll get kicked out of that industry real quick.
Absolutely. Now, Marky, you're a walking billboard for this right here. Like, we talked about it.
Right.
You started one way, and now you talk to us about that.
So I'm a proud Chicago 5th-generation entrepreneur, 3rd-generation restaurateur, and 1st-generation infopreneur. I was born and raised an entrepreneur. My family owns Lamb's Barbecue. I was in the barbecue business. I was in the barbecue business, the first 30 years of my life. My undergrad degree is in hospitality management.
Wow.
I went and earned an MBA because my first personal restaurant failed, and I realized I didn't know it all, and I was every bit of 21 years old.
Right.
My mother started the Yellow Wagon concession stand, so my mother had a food truck back in 1982. So
that's before food trucks.
That's before they even hit. That's how my mama was hitting, right?
Wow.
And I started working at 10 because I asked for too many pairs of designer jeans. So I had to sell snowballs in front of limbs. And you give a 10-year-old money and power, and you are forever hooked. And I would tell you this. One thing my grandfather taught me, he stated that, Marky, competition is healthy for business. And so if you were to go into Famous Dave's Barbecue, anyone in this country, you will see a picture of Lem's Barbecue on every single wall. Because when Dave wanted to learn about the barbecue business, he came to my grandfather, and my grandfather helped him. When Charlie Robinson from Robinson's wanted to open a barbecue restaurant,
your granddad helped him.
My granddaddy taught him how to hand trim his meat in our warehouse.
Right.
And so my grandfather didn't even have a 8th grade. He didn't even graduate from 8th grade. And to see a man, you know, basically create a business that's taking care of 4 generations, right?
Yeah.
I know that his advice was solid advice. So when I came into the world of real estate, we are a unique business where we're in competition with one another. However, to get a deal done, we must come back and cooperate.
Absolutely,
right?
yeah.
And I was teaching foreclosures and short sales, and then instantly I realized I was doing foreclosures and short sales with other realtors, and the deals went smooth.
Yeah.
So I was elated that I had shared knowledge with them because they made the industry better.
Right.
So a lot of times we withhold information, but if we share that information, one, it makes you stay on your A game.
Exactly.
Because you better up your game because they coming for you once you teach them.
But
you always one step ahead anyway.
But you need this education, right? And part about it being an entrepreneur, it's a reinvention component. It's staying ahead of the curve. And to do that, you have to have the desire to learn more in order to do, like the speed and the rapid pace of change within entrepreneurship and the small business arena is so fast.
Yep.
It's so fast. And we're not the big boys. We're not Fortune 500 companies. We don't have the resources, right, to have whole departments dedicated towards R&D. We're the research and development.
One-stop shop for everything.
Exactly. So you have to do these different things. Our people perish for a lack of knowledge. What I would say, though, there's a balance between that, right? You got to you have to have knowledge and insatiable appetite for knowledge in real estate, but you can't get stuck there, right? I think sometimes people will say, I want to become a real estate investor. I want to get involved in it, but I don't know everything. There's a need to feel like I need to know everything.
You're never going to know everything.
Yeah.
Never.
Yeah.
I've been in this industry 13 years, and I'm seriously learning something every week.
Yeah.
Because real estate covers everything. Everything. And there's no way that you can be an expert on all of that. You have to find your niche. Maybe have one or two and work that thing, because there's no way that you're going to be a foreclosure expert. There's no way you're going to know everything about buying and holding and flipping and wholesaling and, even property preservation. It's just too much. It's too much to know.
So you listed several different ways a person within this industry could be, better in respect to the education, attending the class, reading a book, webinars, blogging, things of that nature. What do you do, EJ? And I'll come to you, Marky. What do you do to stay
I do all of those things.
Yeah.
Seminars, even though I teach seminars, I go to seminars myself. I go to all the different boards. They offer, you can learn about short sales or foreclosures. I actually attended Marky's class probably about,
10 years ago?
Yeah, about 10 years ago on foreclosures and short sales.
Yeah.
I have a accredited buyer representation designation. I have an ePro designation. You have to constantly improve yourself.
Yeah.
And you can't do that by just working the business and doing deals.
What do you do, Marky, after all these years in business? How do you still keep, sharp on the education
Two
component?
things. I'm an education junkie, so I have over 50 real estate related licenses, designations, and certifications. So I'm going to take me some classes.
Sure.
Mm-hmm. And then on my podcast, I'm interviewing someone once every week for 1 hour. And I'm reaching out to people who
at the top of their game.
At the top of their game. So I look at that as a 1 hour coaching.
Yeah.
It's a podcast, but I get to ask all the questions.
Yeah.
And so 1 hour per week through the podcast, and then any new designations, certifications, and updates to those, I'm going to go get it.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. I do things similar to you ladies. One of the challenges, though, is finding the time for it. Right? Entrepreneurs, we spend all our time, the bulk of our time, working in the business, and we spend little or no time working on the business. That's not something that's really ingrained in our DNA. Like, there's no class. Like Marky and I were talking off air. We're talking about real estate agents getting their license. It's the same way with an insurance agent getting his license. You get the license. That doesn't give you a license to be productive or good at.
No, they don't teach you how to run a business. They teach you the laws,
it's
so you won't get locked up.
Yeah, it's consumer protection.
You won't get fined. Yeah,
it's compliance,
protecting the public.
Right? But it teaches you nothing.
Nothing.
And inherent in all that is this time frame you have to carve out to take time to grow and become better in your business because what worked 5 years ago may not necessarily work today. So,
and you come across that as you're doing deals with other brokers. You're like, so you didn't know that?
Yeah, we passed that. Yeah.
Like you know you can't do that, right? That's illegal. And laws are changing every single year.
Absolutely.
And you have to stay abreast of that.
Absolutely. So another trait that successful entrepreneurs have is the ability to pull the trigger at the right time. Now, this one pisses me off.
Why?
Because, okay, so I'm an insurance salesman, right? That's what I do. I'm an insurance professional. So all right, I lay out your plan, why insurance is better than what you had, what the cost savings, all the different characteristics of the program. Hey, this is a no-brainer. Cut the check. Let's get on to I got to get on to the next. And they say, let me think about it. Mm-hmm. Man, what is that? Man, what is that? I done told you it's better than what is there to think about?
Yeah, scared money don't make money.
Scared money, but that pulling the trigger, right? So left side, right side. And EJ, for people who don't know what we talk about when we say left side of how they think as an entrepreneur versus the right side.
You know, it's people are afraid, and I come across that all the time, especially more buyers. You know, you walk in and you know that you have found them the right property. Although I'm not a pushy broker, because this is not a deal that you want to have buyer's remorse about. You're not buying a diamond or a coat. This is something you're going to sign your life for, probably the biggest purchase you'll make in your life.
Absolutely.
So I'm not going to push you, but I am going to lay out the facts. You did say you wanted 3 bedrooms. This is 3 bedrooms.
Yeah.
You did say you want to be in
You lay out the case again.
Yeah,
you lay out the case
so
again.
What is it? But some people are just afraid to pull the trigger, and it's not something that you can teach people. Inherently, I think you have to have that capability to make a smart decision for yourself and go for it. But specifically, I find that unfortunately more women are a little bit more afraid to pull the trigger, and that's really why I started Building Her Legacy, because people see me in Ultimate Real Estate Group or Ultimate Real Estate Blueprint, and they see Jason and I. So they see a husband and wife team, and you're doing it together. But I still have skills outside of, our brand together. And I say for the last 5 years, when I sit down with the man who says, hey, E, I want to pick your brain. Can we grab some coffee? This is what I want to do. This is my goal.
Right.
I lay out the plan for them. This is what you do. And they're gone. Women, I love my sisters.
Well,
they'll come back. And they'll, I give them a plan, and then 3 months later, they still haven't done. I have women who have come to my seminars year after year.
And still haven't done a deal.
Still haven't done a deal. And they have the capital, they have the know-how, but they're just afraid to jump off the ledge.
Marky, what are you going to say?
Stop getting ready to get ready. It's my favorite sentence.
I love that.
We have people who've been in real estate as long as we've been in real estate, right? And they're still getting ready to get ready to do something. Mm-hmm. And so one of the reasons my business exists is because of the bureaucracy within real estate associations. The National Association of Realtors meets twice a year in order to make informed decisions and to vote. But twice a year? Man, you know what I can do in a week, and I got to wait for you to come with it twice a year. So while they're getting ready to get ready, I'm able to come in and implement things instantly without the bureaucracy of a board. And we're not talking about one board. We're talking about every state in the United States plus all of these other. We're a global organization. So I'm like, okay, y'all take y'all time, get ready.
Right.
And we can come and implement something in the meanwhile and see if it works or not.
Right. Business moves too fast.
Right.
To get stuck on that right side of your brain where it's paralysis by analysis, right? Mm-hmm. The other side, the left side, is where you kind of go into things very recklessly when you don't have all the prerequisite information to make an informed decision. We're not advocating that.
No, not at all.
Right?
You have to do your due diligence.
But it's that happy medium when you have enough information to go ahead and make a decision. Mm-hmm. And if you, in this game particularly, the market moves. Everything moves at such a fast pace. This is why you got to have systems in place. When you go and you walk a property and you look at it and you got a system in place to help you be able to vet a deal and to get as best as possible. And you don't always have the right information. And I think people think that you got to have all the you got to have all the information before you make a deal, or it's going to listen. This project that I'm working on right now, I underestimated my budget. Right, I walked through, got my system in place, checked off, I came up with the scope of work and what I thought would be the budget amount. And after you get into the nuts and bolts of the actual project, you find out, hey, you know what? you need to go ahead and, instead of, this, you need to go ahead and do this. And instead of that, you need to go ahead and do this. And you look up like, well, damn, add a little bit of this, take a little bit of that. Now you 15 grand, right. And so the logic or the mindset, the natural reaction would be like, oh, I messed up. It happens.
It does.
It happens. It doesn't change the fact that the number still makes sense.
Right.
It's still a good deal, right? And you will find a way to overcome. So you don't have to have all the information. Third good trait, and I know both you ladies can relate to this one. Entrepreneurs, successful ones, have an unusually low fear of failure.
Yeah.
You know what? I'm going to disagree for a hot second.
Go ahead. I like that.
You know why? I believe that a lot of people in real estate are still suffering from post-traumatic stress syndrome as the result of the real estate market crash.
In 2008, yeah.
Yep. So there were some of us who were real bold prior to that crash.
Right.
And then we woke up one day and realized we really didn't have the money we thought we had.
Sure.
And I think that they've been slow to pull the trigger since then. I know that I've been hesitant. Even though I think I'm pretty quick with it. If the numbers look right to me, I'm moving.
Sure.
Okay. But I haven't been nearly, maybe it might even be viewed as reckless.
Sure.
Okay.
That's
right.
what I'm going to say. Yeah.
It might be a little, but I have not been reckless at all. But I'm still a little hesitant. I got to,
But that's because you had it was an experience, right?
Right.
That hits upside the head. Right. Right. But that makes sense if you had an experience. Yeah.
Right. If you've had a failure that cost you, tremendously, you're going to be a little bit more, cautious moving forward. Because I know some investors that were flipping when we got in the game in 2006. They don't want to look at a flip right now.
Yeah.
Numbers look great. They're like, you know what? I'm just going to buy and hold. I'm just going to be a landlord, and I'm going to sit my little tail right on over here. I don't want to do it again. I'm like, but this market now, especially in the last 5 years, has been primed for it. And they just like, you know what? I'm good. But some people, even with the information, they don't even, and it's a solid deal.
Yeah.
It's like, no.
But it speaks to the psychology of the person. And it goes far beyond just with real estate. It's this notion that failure or this idea of failure is associated with this negative stigma. And it's good entrepreneur failure is an opportunity. It's really all things work together for the good. If I didn't have this situation that quote unquote it didn't work out for me, how would I ever develop the strategy how to overcome that thing?
Right.
I had to go through that. I had to go through underestimating a budget on the project, right? To know how the next time now I see this, not to do the same thing. Had I not done it, so if I view it as a failure, I'm going to be like, nah, I don't want to do this no more. No, it was a learning opportunity.
And then a lot of times we take on other people's fear. You tell someone, hey, I want to do this, and then they start telling right, like,
you crazy?
Oh, no, when I was a landlord, I had to do, evict people. They weren't paying rent. They were tearing my places. So you share your negative experience, and you talk somebody else back off the ledge from doing something that they really want to do. It's kind of like I'm really annoyed with women who are pregnant, about to have their first kid. And then, mothers start telling their war stories from, giving birth. It's like, shut up. We all know that labor hurts.
Girl, I was in labor for 14 days. Don't have no kids.
Exactly. 14. It's like, well, I mean, if you have the information, sometimes you just have to go for it. And like we said, it's not about just being willy-nilly, as my aunt would say, just not doing your due diligence. But sometimes you just have to strike.
You just got to just change the difference. I mean, look, you can't have business success without some setback.
Exactly.
It happens. That's how you grow. Give us a call, 312-374-8130. Great conversation with Marky Lemons Riles and also the one and only E-Jizzle, EJ Williams here on C Flips. We're going to take a quick break. We'll come back. We'll talk a little bit. We'll pick Marky's brain. Also maybe get into 6 ways to buy real estate with little or no money. That's one of the other fears. I can't do it because I don't have any money.
Right.
But we got some high-level strategies for you to help you with that. We'll be right back. Welcome back to C Flips, He Flips. Curtis R. Monday's my name.
EJ Williams.
Absolutely. And we got the great, one and only, Marky Lemon Riles in the building. Good morning, Marky.
What's going on?
That's right. Marky, if people want to reach you for coaching or whatever the heck you do, because you do so much, where can they find you?
You know what? I tell everybody, if you spell my name correctly, you will find me all over the internet, MarkiLemons. The podcast is Social Selling Made Simple. The book is The Modern Real Estate Professional's Guide to Success.
All right. EJ, where can people find you?
You can find me on Instagram at Building Her Legacy Now, Ultimate_EJ. You can call me, 773-340-9101. And you can email me at ej@buildingherlegacy.com.
Absolutely. Curtis R. Monday, the Curtis R. Monday Insurance Agency, 708-647-1005. To get some one-on-one business and real estate strategic coaching, go out to www.curtisrmonday.com. We're talking about successful traits of entrepreneurs. The last one we left off with was unusually low fear of failure, which leads us to one of the major reasons why people don't start real estate investing. They think that they don't have the money. Where am I going to get the money? And so we want to give you 6 high-level tips. This won't be a detailed class about how to do all these things, but we'll just throw a topic out there, have some banter back and forth, and write these down. One way to invest in real estate with little or no money: house hacking.
I love that.
House hacking.
I think that's a great, entry point. I was just talking to a young man last night. He's a truck driver. He told me that his fiance is pregnant, but they were looking for a house. And he said, but you know what? I was thinking about buying a building. I said, yes.
Yeah.
Because he said long term he wants to own property. I said, well, start off now.
Yeah.
I said, if you have the capacity to buy a duplex, maybe a 3-unit, or maybe even a 4-plex, I said, pull the trigger on that one first.
Yeah.
Live in one of the units, rent out the other ones, especially if it's a 2-flat. In this market, you can probably get away with the rent paying at least 80 to 90% of your mortgage.
Yeah.
I was like, you start there, you can get an FHA loan.
Yeah.
3.5% down. Yeah. I said, and then as your family expands, it gets large. And if you want the single family home with the backyard and all that, I said, then you can move out and rent it out.
Yeah.
I said, but then now you have an investment property already under your belt.
Absolutely.
I think that's a great first way, especially these young, out of college. You used to live in either in a dorm or an apartment building. What
sense.
do you need with a single family house right away out the gate? Start building your portfolio now.
One thing about getting older, you recognize yourself. You recognize your limitations as well as your capabilities. I don't have the proper temperament to do house hacking.
Well, not at this point.
No, I'm just ever. Like I don't
really?
ever. I don't
Really?
ever. Because here's why, right? If you own property, James Morris can attest to this. You own property. It's gonna come a point in time where they're gonna owe you some bread. They're going to owe you some money, right? And they ain't paid you your money. And your rent, they know the rent due, and they got ribs for the Floyd Mayweather pay-per-view fight. They got Coronas.
You saw it all on Instagram.
And all on Instagram, and they paid. Yes. You haven't paid me not one rent, but you got ribs and you barbecuing at the spot, and you got the pay-per-view fight and Coronas, and you having a good time. Mm-hmm. Now, as an investor, and I don't live there, I'm mad already. I don't have to see that, right? But if I live with you, you owe me money. You down? You upstairs? And I hear them clapping, and they got the ribs and the tips cooking. I'm not gonna act right. I got a son. I don't want to go to jail. I'm not gonna act right. I don't have the temperament for that. So God bless you. Here's a good one, Mark. Another way: try equity loans or equity lines of credit.
Oh, I've had all of those. All work well. But let me tell you what I'm doing now. We got some money. My son is 23.
Okay.
He's buying a 4-flat because he needs the rental income to offset any debt to income ratios. Yep. We're going to Airbnb, and we're giving him the gift. And so I decided that I was going to help my child. My grandparents helped me. I had a building at the age of 24. I want to do the same thing for my son.
Yeah.
And so we had a boatload of equity because we bought a REO house. Wait, look, we live on the same block.
We live on the same block.
I probably have the lowest mortgage amount of anybody on my block.
Because you bought at the right price.
I bought at the absolute right price and the right time.
Yeah, good for you.
Yeah, so I believe that you should always have you some money on hand.
Yeah.
And you should leverage that money for real estate.
Equity without works is dead. And the Bible says, they say faith without works is dead. I say equity without works is dead. If you got a piece of property as an equity position, think about tapping that line of credit or equity home loan. This is a good one. Seller financing, right? Now, this could be a whole class in of itself, how to set it up and all of the proper documents. But in a nutshell, instead of going to a mortgage company to do the financing, you're going to the seller. You're talking to the seller one-on-one and coming to the grips to terms in respect to how you can acquire this property, pay the monthly mortgage, come to terms when this is going to be resolved. You use different things like LLCs or land trusts to structure everything. But it's a very, very cheap and inexpensive way to acquire a piece of property and not have to come up with the 10, 20% down you may have to come up with if you're dealing with some commercial lenders and things of that nature. So I may even do a course on that one. It's a whole little system, but that's a good way. Here's one: partnerships.
Yes.
Work all the time.
Partnerships.
That's the way we've been investing for a long time. I mean, the first probably 3 or 4 years we were doing it on our own. But as we were having so much success, people were like, hey, I want in. And then it just started making sense to use other people's money. That way we can do way more deals because our capital is not so tied up in 1 or 2 projects.
Yeah.
We can do 5 and 10 projects, because we can partner with other people.
So partnerships in respect to finding like private money lenders who give you money. But
Yes.
you can also do partnerships like with another investor.
I did partnerships. So my cousin and I, we actually bought, rehabbed, and sold 7 houses, 2004 to 2006.
Right.
And we leveraged. We came together because we came together. His father was willing to give us the money.
Right.
And he was more the math guy, and I was the feet on the ground girl. Right. And we were able to partner and make it work. So we had 7 projects under our belt. And I have a lot of partnership opportunities. What I tend to leverage is the knowledge for the money.
Yeah, makes a lot of sense.
Yep.
Here's a popular one that if you're in the real estate investing space right now, you're flipping hard money lenders, right?
Oh, yeah.
It's funny how like that term has evolved over time, right? When you first said hard money lenders, like years ago, it gave the impression of like a bookie,
Right.
Right, like the fees were like
Going to some
outrageous.
seedy back
They
room.
were.
Yeah,
They were,
They
and they
were.
are. But the numbers make sense.
Right.
And it was the only way to do the project. So I was dealing with the time Smith Rothschild,
Smith
right?
Rothschild. Everybody
and
has
then
Smith Rothschild.
Everybody has Smith Rothschild.
Yeah.
And I was dealing with Shore Bank, right?
Yep.
Yeah,
and
we
one
were
was,
too.
all the terms were easy peasy. The other one looked a little rough. However, actually, I made my most money
With
off of Smith Rothschild.
Yeah, Smith Rothschild.
Yeah.
But I think our thinking has evolved over time, right? And before it felt like you were dealing with like a bookie, but now it's like, hey, I just need access to the capital. Forget
Right.
if I vetted the deal properly and the numbers make sense, I can just give me access to the money. I can make it work. I don't care what the interest rate is. I can make it work. So yeah, like hard money, and you will see that. Do you find that people use the term hard money lenders and rehab lenders kind of simultaneously, like it kind of
Or non-bankable loans.
bankable loans? Yeah.
Yeah, non-bank. So they do use them
Interchangeably.
most rehab lenders are hard money.
money lenders.
Yeah, exactly.
The terms look the same.
The origination points are high as heck.
9, 12, 15%.
9-12%,
That's
right.
hard money, honey.
Yeah. If you don't refinance or you don't sell that thing in a year or something,
Right.
it's ballooning. Like it's a lot. So, last one, good one. This one is what? Finding a great deal. I think I deleted it. Is that right?
No, yeah. Find an incredible deal.
That is
Once you
My
get
house
a
is an
sweet
incredible
deal,
deal.
somebody will be happy to give you the money.
Yeah.
It's the numbers.
Yeah.
Make the numbers work.
Absolutely.
You have people fighting over trying to invest on you.
Well, let me say this. Some people overanalyze the numbers. So I tell people, make your first offer your best offer because you might miss out on that great deal. So it's a lot of people who, even in my own house situation, they was like, oh, I wouldn't have overpaid. It came to the market at $148.9. We spent $200. They like, I wouldn't have done that. And I'm like, I came back in 12 months and we were at 62% loan to value. I had $200,000 in equity because I overpaid. And I didn't really overpay.
No.
I just paid more than the list price. And so I have
and
no
people get
problems.
so stuck on list price.
List price. Fool, let's look at these numbers.
Right.
Look, my neighbors just closed at $779.
Yes.
2 doors
Two
down
doors
from
down.
me.
$7.
$779,000 down from her.
I live on the greatest block, and I spent the least amount of money, and I overpaid.
Wow.
Yeah.
Real
Exactly.
estate is a
Yeah.
game changer. You're listening to She Flips, He Flips. I'm Curtis R. Monday.
I'm EJ Williams.
Call us right now at 312-374-8130. For all your real estate. Look, the number have been 591-1690 for like 30 years, right? And I'm so this 312 stuff, I'm still not adapting. We got Marky Lemons Riles on the show with us. Let's pick her brain and let's keep the conversation going. EJ, I'll go first and you go second with the question. Marky,
Yes.
advice. You've done it all. You've been in the business for a number of years. What advice would you give to new agents or even pointers for more seasoned investors who are involved in real estate right now?
I always tell people start with the end in mind. So I see people every single day take actions that go against their long-term strategic goals. So I'm always thinking 10 years out. I'm not going to take any actions today that don't get me to that 10 years. And so I break it down, 10, 5, 3, 1. And I see people, they'll do something just dumb for the purpose of doing it, but it doesn't get you to the 10-year goal. So I'm not doing anything that is not in alignment with my long-term strategic goal. And when we were talking earlier about making decisions, all my numbers, I go and research them. Every decision I make is based on numbers. You can have a gut feeling. And I'm going to be honest, I think my discernment is phenomenal. But I need those numbers, because if those numbers back it up, I can fight.
Yeah.
And what I do today as a keynote speaker, my husband told me, and I don't want nobody jumping on him when you see him in the streets. My husband told me 13 years ago I would not get paid to teach Facebook. And I told him then, you a lie. They're going to pay me, and they're going to pay me good to teach this thing. But my husband believes that Facebook is the work of the devil, and he does not have a Facebook account. So I understand the foundation that he's coming from. But the joke in my house all the time is how mama get paid. How mama get paid. Because I need him to relive what he told me he thought I couldn't do because of his belief in the system. It wasn't his belief in me.
I got you.
Right.
I like that advice, which is both, salient for new investors and more seasoned ones, to start with the end goal in mind and work your way backwards.
Right.
It makes your activities that you're doing even on a daily basis more poignant and more focused and purposeful. So that makes sense, because you don't have a lot of time to waste within real estate. EJ, what advice would you give?
Well, I guess selfishly, since I'm a licensed real estate broker, what advice would you have for us going into 2020 for our branding and for our marketing?
I think that we need to utilize some of the free tools that the MLS provides, and they're not free. You've already prepaid for them. Tools like Remind, predictive analytics. I believe that realtors, because of inventory levels, they need to start doing strategic direct mail campaigns followed with Facebook ads in order to discover hidden gems in marketplaces. So we can't wait for the property to come to the market. We got to go find the property. And I don't see, no one's mailing to me. I've gotten 2 pieces of direct mail, and both of those people are in my private Facebook group. Wow. So there's no reason that I should have as much equity in my house, and no one has attempted to sell my house or buy it. It just makes no sense. And so I know I'm not the only person in that same predicament. So direct mail followed by Facebook ads, and those Facebook ads should overlay exactly where you did that direct mail piece, so people are seeing your marketing consistently.
But that speaks to the education component we talked about earlier, and also as a piggyback to what you said about when new real estate agents get their license, they become compliant and things of that nature, but not really taught how to do but no one talks about that. It's the same thing with insurance, on how to market and do different things. But I do see a lot of bandit signs. Right, I do get some direct mail on the little yellow sticky note things and things of that nature. But it is an art to it to be able to continue to market a particular area in order to find a deal. A lot has changed over the years with real estate. 2 or 3 ways that the real estate market has changed, Marky. Pick your brain on that. What are some things you're seeing that's different within the market, and how has that shift led to individuals being able to make a profit?
So coming into the market 20 years ago, we were buying list at that time. Today, people tell you all their business in real time. And because we have all of the tools, I believe that everybody in business needs to set time aside to simply listen to the needs and wants of people, because we don't have any gatekeepers anymore. It was a time, if I wanted to talk to the CEO or the director of education of a realtor association, I had to find their assistant email address to get the assistant to introduce me. Between LinkedIn, Facebook, and Instagram, I can slide into your DM and I am any place, and I can piggyback off anything that you just said. So I think we need to spend time listening to the needs and wants of people in real time. But we can get so specific, we can listen to the needs and wants of our ideal consumer in real time. So the rule of thumb is a person really can afford a house or buy a house at 2.5 times their gross annual income. And this is what I did when I came into the business. I quickly realized my friends did not make enough money to buy the houses I wanted to sell. Did you both do
Yeah,
it at
we
the
did.
same time?
It was the church.
So I had to
Yeah.
shift my sphere of influence.
Absolutely, yeah.
Because I knew my friends couldn't afford what it was that I wanted to sell. And not that those aren't my friends, and not I still roll down on 59th and State. I still go sit on the bar stool
We
on
still
Garfield.
friends.
We still friends.
Yeah.
Right.
However, I had to, and the hardest thing to do is to change your sphere of influence.
Yeah.
So I had to change my sphere of influence. This is going to be funny. I'm sitting on a bar with my road dog from 7 years old. And she looks at my feed and she says, Marky, I didn't know you knew all these white people, right? Right? And my husband said, well, she don't have white friends. I said, well, I'm not going to say she doesn't have white friends, but clearly I do,
Yeah.
right? And I realized that I did not, when I came into real estate, I really didn't have any non-black friends.
Yeah.
And in order for me to grow the way that I wanted to grow, I needed diversity.
You need to diversify,
Right.
I
yeah.
needed the line. I needed a whole different sphere of influence. But I was strategic about it.
Yeah.
I knew what I had to do, and I did it. And a lot of people can't get out of their comfort zone of their friends.
Well, you will have a dead smack reality check real quick when real estate investing, especially when you're trying to find private money lenders. So you get this education, you find out about invest. You see it all the time. You know, on the little fix and flop shows, right?
Yeah.
They always got some magical angel investor who just
Right.
magically has 150 grand, 200 grand that you can call buddy on the phone and
Right.
get the 250 grand
Right.
to do it always happens like that, right? So you think, and I want you to think, if you got your cell phone out right now, just initially, how many people on your cell phone could you call right now who got, like, liquidity wise, $150,000, $200,000 that they're willing to loan you? And for a lot of us, initially for me, that wasn't the reality. Right. So I had to expand, my circle of influence to be able to put me in a position to be able even to ask that dollars. EJ, you've been in the business for a while. What kind of things have you seen change in respect to the real estate market?
You know what? I think it's the marketing and the branding of yourself.
Yeah.
You can tell some of the agents that have been in the business, excuse me, about 10 years or 15 years or even 20 years, they don't want to touch social media. And you're like, why? To your point, Marky, like, why aren't you using these free tools to get your name out there? It's even some realtors that are still giving you fax numbers.
Wow.
To fax documents. It's like, are you serious right
Wow, we
now?
can do the
like
DocuSign.
they just want to
Yeah.
stay stuck. They're like resistant
Yeah.
to technology and resistant to social media. And it's like you can't grow that way. So I have a question for you.
Okay.
What's some of your advice about getting people to use video more? I sat in on some of your training probably about 3 years ago, probably about 4 years ago, and you gave some good nuggets. And although I'm good at sharing things to like my Insta story, I don't record a lot of videos of myself with me, as the focus. And I'm still trying to get over that.
So let me just say this. This is all about the numbers,
Right.
100% about the numbers. But as I like to reference, I am always the shortest, darkest, roundest person in the room with the least amount of hair. And the reason I point that out is because I want people to understand consumers don't care about how you look. They care if they can, if you can solve their buying and selling problems. So we have to get over the fear of how we think we look and sound. But here's the number one thing. The brain digests video 60,000 times faster than written word. 84% of all content consumed this year was in the form of a video. Video is the only form of content that I can repurpose into 200 different forms of content without recreating it. Wow. So I sit down and every week I record a video for my podcast that is on essentially every podcast channel. I'm doing audio to text transcription. That's for my weekly email and my weekly blog post. And so for me, it originates with video. But when I'm doing video and I add a call to action, I'm generating leads. So I'm generating leads, and it's creating all of my other content without recreating the content. So nothing performs like live streaming video. So while I'll get on a plane and leave Chicago, I still have referral checks and revenue share overrides that I'm getting in Chicago because people are still reaching out to me to service their real estate needs because I'm the one still creating the content that they're seeing.
Wow.
And I should not be the person creating the content that they're seeing.
Wow.
Right.
That's powerful. I mean, that's like a segue into the conversation that EJ and I have all the time about this educational coaching space in real estate versus the nuts and bolts day to day. And we both enjoy projects and things of that nature, but there's a real opportunity to help people in that space, and also to do it as a viable business opportunity. Right. And video is a big deal.
Video right now is trumping everything. Yeah. And
don't say Trump though.
Oh, I'm sorry.
As
an action, not a person. Let me say kicking butt.
Yeah,
it's getting everything else in the butt.
I'm just playing with you.
And I just wish that I could get more people to embrace it. But we are really caught up on how we think we look. And that comes back to stop getting ready to get ready. There was a time that I needed a fresh haircut. I had to run through MAC to get my makeup done, and I needed a new dress because you couldn't see me in the same outfit twice. And once I got over that, my digital footprint has changed my life.
That's powerful.
I need to hear that.
Yeah, that's huge. That's huge.
It changed my life, and I'll give you an example. We're at Norm's Bistro one night, and people are walking up to me, and they're talking to me. And my cousin, she's listening in the background. She hasn't lived here since 1986. She crosses her arms, she shucks her teeth, and she said, so you a celebrity now? Every person who walked up said the same thing. Marky, I don't know you, or Marky, we've never met. However, your videos.
Video. Yeah.
And it happens. My husband does not. I told you that man believes Facebook is the work of the devil, and he don't have a Facebook account. Every week, some woman or man stops him and tells him they seen him on Facebook. Because I put him on Facebook. What I need everybody to know when I get on the plane, that's my husband.
That's right.
When you see him out and about, that's Marky Man.
Yes.
So what I do a good job is letting the world know that's mine right there. Bypass right on the walk around him.
Hey, Jason. Prepare the EJ come home. And
hey, put him on the book, girl. Put him on the book.
Hey, but Big Cousin, let it for now on. Starting next week, I'm wearing the same T-shirt. The same T-shirt. I'm not getting no fade, nothing. The same T-shirt because Marky put me on. Hey, we getting ready to wrap up. I want some closing. I mean, time fly, right?
Yes.
Time flies, right? Yeah, like
fast.
Boom. I mean, I hope y'all get it. We bringing you gems. Give us some closing thoughts, Marky, and then EJ, as we close out.
I want people to develop their 2020 business plan. I want them to write it down, and not only do I want them to have a business plan, I want them to have a vision board. Everything that is on my vision board manifested itself this year. I said I wanted a book. I didn't know I was going to have an international best-selling book. I wanted a podcast. I didn't know it was going to be a top-ranked podcast. But, I wanted a white-on-white Mercedes. I got a white with red, and I'm a Delta, so how much more perfect could it be, right? BMW. Everything that was on that board has manifested itself, and that was outside of the business plan.
There you go. What's the name of the book?
The name of the book is The Modern Real Estate Professional's Guide to Success.
And where can we find it?
You can find it on Amazon.
All right. And if individuals want to reach you for anything, how can they find you?
Marky, MarkiLemons. I'm on all the different platforms, EM, DM, email me. Those are my preferred method of communicating.
E-Jizzle.
So for 2020, I've committed myself to just helping more people, more investors, more inspiring investors, seasoned investors, help them scale up their business. So I'm getting a little bit more creative with some training that I want to do. I'm actually about to announce probably next week. I want to have like a junior venture program where somebody can come in and walk and learn how to flip through being a part of our project.
Yeah.
So you can come on, you won't be financially tied to it, but that's the best way to learn, boots on the ground in project. You can send in seminars, you can read books, you can hop on YouTube, but it comes alive when you're actually in the project. So I'll be rolling that out next week, the opportunity for a select group of people who want to invest in themselves and really learn the business. So, but you can reach me by EJ@buildingherlegacy.com. You can call me at 773-340-9101. You can find me on Instagram at ultimate_EJ.
My 2020 goal is to get a chance to be able to eat some solid food.
Leave my child
My
alone.
son won't get off the bottle and his
He's only a year.
his
Curtis.
multi-grain. I mean his single grain oatmeal. So we put everything in his mouth. He goes. So no, seriously, we just want to keep doing what we're doing, and so we're happy to be able to partner with great individuals like yourself, Marky. And don't think of this as a one and out. Think of this as the continuation of a more than a decade-long relationship, and we're here as a resource to support you in whatever you're doing. Individuals who are interested in getting their financial insurance portfolio together, call me, 708-647-1005, to get one-on-one coaching regarding your business or real estate strategy. Go out to www.curtisrmonday.com. Go to the YouTube channel, Curtis Monday. You can get all our videos Facebook, I'm Curtis R. Monday. Instagram, C Monday. We got to get out of here. God bless you. I love you. Talk to you later. Bye-bye.
The talk of Chicago and the voice of the nation is 1690 WVON, Berwyn, Chicago.
Adopt US Kids presents What to Expect When You're Expecting. A teenager. Learning the lingo.
Today I'm going to help parents translate teen slang. Now, when a teen says something is on fleek, it's exactly like saying, that's rad. It simply means that something is awesome or cool. Another one is totes. It's exactly like saying, totally, just shorter. As in, I totes love going to the mall with Becca. Another word you might hear is jelly. Jelly is a shorter, better way to say jealous. As in, Chloe, I am like so jelly of your unicorn phone case.
You don't have to speak teen to be a perfect parent. Thousands of teens in foster care will think you're, rad, just the same. To learn more, visit adoptuskids.org. A public service announcement brought to you by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services, Adopt U.S. Kids, and the Ad Council.